Thank you for joining me here this morning. The time is now 10:33 a.m. Central, and you have a live look at potentially one of the biggest tornado outbreaks of the year right now. We've got a moderate risk of severe weather in place for portions of East Texas, Central Louisiana, Southern and Central Mississippi, and Southwest Alabama. This is a 4 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center scale, so we have got to take this very seriously today. We are talking about the potential for strong, damaging, and long-tracking tornadoes, and the SPC has actually mentioned that several EF3 plus tornadoes are likely with this event. We're talking about a widespread damaging wind event as well. We could be talking about a big time derecho overnight even. And even as early as 8:20 a.m. this morning, we've already had some tornadoes down into portions of Louisiana. Now, we already do have a significant ongoing situation in Arkansas. We have a destructive storm warned for baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts over the town of Dermot. If you are in this area, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. And there we go. We just got a brand new tornado warning that is going to be in effect for the northwest side of Houston, Texas here. That is going to be a very concerning supercell. Wow, that includes Bridgeland. We've got some broad rotation with that, so we've got to watch this extremely closely. If you are in this area, please seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building away from windows in an interior room. This is not good, everybody. If you are just now tuning in, please make sure to share the stream with anybody that lives down here in the Deep South. Again, we are talking about a potential historic tornado outbreak for today, guys. This is going to be very significant. Alrighty, everybody, how's it going? What's up, everybody? I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to get to every chat message today. Again, we had some incredible support yesterday, so we've got a lot of new viewers here, so I welcome everybody. Again, unfortunately, today is going to have to be a day where we take things very seriously, but it's alright. We are going to go ahead and update the title here to Tornado Warning in Texas. Let's get that thrown out there. And I'm going to go ahead and share this stream out with as many people as possible here. Again, I encourage you guys to do the same, because again, this is going to be one of the biggest tornado outbreaks of the year here. This is a tornado warning already in effect for Cypress, Texas. Again, this includes portions of Waller and Harris counties. We've got some decent rotation with this storm here as it continues to travel northeast towards sections of Highway 40 and, sorry, not Highway 40, Highway 290. I don't know where I got Highway 40 from, I'm not going to lie, but anyway, again, this is looking like a pretty concerning storm. We don't have a great look at it on the velocities, but it is just good enough here. Give me just a second. And if you are just now tuning in, please, please, please click that like and subscribe button so that we can help share this stream with as many people as possible. It helps push this further out into the algorithm, because this is coverage that people need all across the Deep South today. Again, this is significant, guys, so please make sure that we, again, are keeping chat respectful and on topic at all times. But yeah, other than that, just get ready for today, guys, because today is going to be an absolutely massive tornado outbreak. Actually, the Storm Prediction Center has mentioned the potential of going even a step further and issuing a high risk of severe weather. They didn't say they're going to do it, but they did say it is a possibility. And if you're not aware, a high risk of severe weather is a 5 out of 5 on the SPC scale. That's as high as it goes. That is indicative of the highest level of threat. The next Storm Prediction Center update should come out very soon here, and we will see if they're going to go through with that or if they are going to keep it at the moderate risk. Again, they didn't say that they were going to issue a high risk, but they did kind of float out the idea that it was a possibility. But actually, at the new Day 1 convective outlook here, it does look like this has been left at a moderate risk. We have actually just gotten an addition, though, to this moderate risk of a 45% hatched damaging wind risk. Again, we were talking about that derecho potential. That is definitely still intact here with that brand new update from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, 45% chance of seeing significant damaging wind gusts within 25 miles of any given point. Again, that hatched indicator there, 10% chance or greater of significant damaging winds within 25 miles of any given point. The tornado threat still remains at a 15% hatched risk. The hail threat is quite low still, but we could see some isolated large hailstones like we are right now in southeastern Arkansas. So again, this is a very, very significant day. The SPC's new synopsis, by the way, tornadoes, some strong with at least EF2 damage possible. Severe gusts and hail are expected today into tonight. The threat area will shift eastward from parts of north and central Texas early, across East Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley today, then over the Tennessee Valley, parts of Georgia, and the central Gulf Coast tonight. Again, they have said that several strong tornadoes are likely with this event. Not just possible, but likely. Central Arkansas is mostly good. Again, we could be talking about some damaging winds and hail into parts of central Arkansas, but for the most part, I think we're talking about weaker thunderstorms. So honestly, just some nice beneficial rain for you guys out there in central Arkansas. Again, it's the further southeast that you go that you have to start to be worried. Again, right now we do have a very large hailstorm out here down in southeast Arkansas, now warned for lime-sized hail. Previously, it was for baseball-sized hail. You will notice we do already have a tornado watch in effect for today. This is going out for parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas here. This is not going to be the big tornado watch of the day, guys. We will likely see a PDS tornado watch get issued later this evening for parts of Mississippi and Alabama. But for right now, this tornado watch is in effect for, again, parts of Louisiana, southern and central Mississippi, and eastern Texas. They have mentioned that a few tornadoes are likely, with a couple intense tornadoes possible. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail events to 2 inches in diameter possible, and scattered damaging wind gusts to 70 miles an hour possible. Alrighty. So again, how's everybody doing today? Again, this is a significant tornado threat that we have for today. I cannot stress that enough. If we go ahead and take a look at the HRRR model here and play this a little bit further out, we can see that by later this afternoon and into this evening, say by 6 p.m., look at this. Not only do we have a massive threat for damaging winds, and I'm talking ginormous. Again, this is what is driving our 45% hatch risk for wind, all the way from Memphis back down into Louisiana. We could be talking about a potential derecho event, but also out ahead of that line, any of these little supercells that try to get going are going to have that threat to produce a significant long-tracking tornado. And as we push things later into tonight, we're not done. By 10 p.m., that threat just shifts eastward but remains intact. Still a big-time derecho potential across parts of eastern Mississippi. And then again, we've still got supercells out ahead of the line into parts of West Alabama. I genuinely do think Western Alabama could be a bit of a sleeper area for this event. I think it could end up being surprisingly active. So again, we're going to be talking about a massive derecho event, most likely, with this. So again, tornado outbreak, derecho. Again, this is likely going to be one of the most significant December weather events that we have seen in several decades. This is insane. Again, we already have a tornado warning in effect for the northwest side of Houston. We've already seen tornadoes this morning across parts of Louisiana. Again, we are watching for this supercell to potentially produce a tornado within the next couple minutes here. This is for Bridgeland and Cypress, Texas. So again, if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room here. Again, this is just north of Interstate 10. This is on the northwest side of the outer Houston suburbs. Very electrified storm, so that is likely indicative of some big-time intensification with this storm popping off here. Has the risk for Bastrop, Louisiana been upgraded? Let's check that out. So yes, it has been upgraded since we last spoke. You are now at a moderate risk of severe weather. That means that you have a great threat for significant damaging winds and strong tornadoes later today. And again, we are already talking about thunderstorms in your area, but the peak threat for you will be around 5 p.m. We're going to be talking about the potential for a couple of strong tornadoes across northeast Louisiana and west central Mississippi there, with any discrete supercells that do develop in front of our line. By the way, the significant tornado parameter values are absolutely off the charts today. If we go ahead and pull this up here, look at this, guys. This is absolutely insane. We've already got significant tornado parameter values at 10 a.m. stretching into decent values. Again, we are talking about values being over 3, which at 10 a.m. is nearly unheard of, but it gets significantly worse, obviously, as we go into the afternoon. By 3 p.m., we're dealing with several splotches of significant tornado parameter values, close to 8 here. And again, we've got, these are not going to be the exact areas that get hit, but this is a general idea. Significant tornado parameter values even getting over 9, close to many, which, if you're not aware, that is just something that you don't see. And then it looks like actually here on the new one of the HRRR, it likes the idea of them going over 10 at around 4 p.m. in central Louisiana, which usually is enough to promote a high risk of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, you will notice a significant tornado threat lasts until 3 a.m., where we're talking about significant tornado parameter values being close to 4 in the parts of Alabama, which is still nothing to scoff at. So this is just going to be absolutely insane. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for lime-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for parts of our eastern Arkansas storm here. Again, the storm is traveling northeastward. The hail threat, again, originally was warned for baseball-sized hail whenever we had a massive hail spike with this here. Again, if you're not aware with what's happening here, this is a feature on radar that we call a hail spike. Basically, the radar tries to penetrate through the hail core, but the hail is so dense that it fails and creates this weird glitch effect that we call a hail spike. So again, this massive hailstorm here is nothing to play around with. If you're included in these severe thunderstorm warnings, you've got to move indoors and away from windows immediately, guys. This is significant. Again, we already have a tornado warning in effect for the northwestern outer Houston suburbs. If you are just now tuning in, this is going in effect for parts of southeast Texas. This includes the town of Cypress, and the rotation is getting quite strong here with this as well, I might note. I think that and there we go. We now have a tornado on the ground, everybody. So if you are in this area, you've got to seek shelter immediately. We do have a debris signature on the correlation coefficient. I cannot believe we are already dealing with this. We have a tornado on the ground northwest of Houston, Texas. If you are in this area, you have to seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows in an interior room. Again, that is a debris signature right there. It's a sign of the tornado throwing pieces of homes, trees, stuff like that up into the atmosphere and being reflected back onto the radar. Again, this is significant. What's up, everybody? Could this be another April 27, 2011? No. I don't think we'll ever see another day like that. But that does not mean that this is not going to be significant. Again, I definitely think that the target zone will be, as I've been saying since probably Tuesday, east central Louisiana, southwest Mississippi. Any of those discrete supercells that fire off ahead of our big-time line of storm could produce a strong tornado. And again, there's going to be several of them. This is not going to be an isolated thing. This is a widespread overnight event. So again, discrete supercell in southeast Texas has already managed to produce a decently strong tornado on the northwest side of Houston here. If you are just now tuning in, again, this is a significant situation. What's it like in Magnolia? I'm right there now. That is... I'll just look it up here. Magnolia. So Magnolia here is luckily going to be out of the track of our tornado. It's far, far north of where this tornado will go, but you still need to be on the lookout. Again, if you are planning on traveling anywhere south of there, again, this could be significant. Again, we are expecting this luckily to go southeast of the Magnolia area, but things could change. Again, tracks of tornadoes change all the time. Again, this is still a significant tornado on the ground. We do have a debris signature that is getting quite deep over Freeman Road. Again, strong velocities. Again, gate-to-gate shear with this thing is actually very high. We are measuring winds of about 53 against 53, so we're talking 107 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear with this tornado here, so this is not good. Again, this is a significant tornado on the ground, likely. We just got a new correlation coefficient scan, and again, the debris signature continues to get bigger. So, again, if you know anybody in this area, please send them this stream. Please do anything you can to help get this stream out to more people, because, again, we've got ourselves a significant situation today, guys. And our Arkansas storm has been upgraded once again, back up to baseball-sized hail here. For a while, I believe it was downgraded. It is back up. This is absolutely insane. Again, not massive, but strong tornado potentially on the ground here near Bridgeland, Texas. So this tornado is going through what town? Houston. This is northwest of Houston, Texas. This is in the suburbs of Houston here. Again, this is approaching Bridgeland and Cypress. If you are in this area, you've got to seek shelter. You've got to get underground if you can. Again, if you know anybody out here in this area, you've got to let them know what's going on, guys. Please send them this stream. We will be covering this. Again, we're going to be covering this event pretty much all day, but we do have an update from the National Weather Service. For some reason, they're not saying it's on the ground. They're saying weather spotters reported a funnel cloud, but there is a very clear debris signature with this thing. So again, this is a tornado on the ground. And again, unfortunately, it is going through very populated regions of Texas. Again, this is not what you want to be seeing at 11 a.m. in the morning. It's only a sign for what's to come. Again, things are only going to get worse from here, and I wish I could provide better news, but unfortunately not. Again, absolutely devastating already. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we do have a big-time tornado on the ground northwest of Houston, Texas. All right, Brenda, make sure they're doing okay. Again, they are included in this tornado warning. Wow, so yeah, again, still, or I guess that was just a color updation scan. All right, New scan there. This is still on the ground because the debris signature is getting deeper. Not good. Again, this is a discrete supercell. It's got that look to it. Again, it had a hook echo for a little bit. It's kind of merged here with another storm, but unfortunately that has not killed it. Not even close. Alright, so again, significant tornado potentially on the ground right now, northwest of Houston, Texas. Again, if this was in downtown Houston, this would be a lot worse, but we are still seeing this about to go through very populated regions, so we've just got to hope that it lifts before it gets to the suburban areas here. Again, it's already ripping through neighborhoods, though, unfortunately. Again, these are picking up pieces of people's homes. It's not good. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, this is not good. Again, this is a significant tornado. We have a debris ball with this that is already almost 2 miles wide. Again, this is a deadly situation. If you are in this tornado warning, you've got to seek shelter now. You've got to get to the lowest floor of your building. You've got to get into an interior room. Everyone in this crazy weather event today, please be safe and in your safe spot. May my prayers be with you. Thankfully, I'm in north central Arkansas, and I'm just getting rain today. Just be safe. Yeah, north central Arkansas is just going to be a flooding threat, if nothing else, but even that will be quite minimal. But again, we've got to really focus in here, guys, on our tornado. Again, this is northwest of Houston, Texas. This is a significant tornado. This is heading for Bridgeland, Cypress. Again, I don't know why they're not upgrading this to observe. This is 100% on the ground. Again, this is a significant tornado, and we can't forget about our hailstorm in Arkansas, but again, this is a little more worrisome. Wow. So again, this tornado has been on the ground for a significant amount of time now. This has been on the ground for almost 10 minutes, and it's continuing to rip through populated parts of southeast Texas. Apparently it's a cone tornado. So again, we're waiting for this next radar scan here, but it's not looking good for the folks in Bridgeland, unfortunately. Again, I wish I could say something better, but unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news, and that's going to be the theme throughout all day. Again, at this point, there's almost no chance that this event underperforms. Again, we're going to have discrete supercells. We're going to have a derecho. It is going to be quite significant. But again, as long as you have a tornado action plan in place and you know where you're going to go whenever a tornado strikes, you're doing the best thing you can possibly do. So again, just that's something you can console yourself with. Yeah, we're waiting for this next correlation coefficient scan. I don't know why it's not updating more frequently. There we go. That is still on the ground, unfortunately. Again, it is still getting deeper. Again, this is over Katie Hockley Road. This is, again, going to be approaching Bridgeland within the next several minutes. Bridgeland, you've got to get underground now if you can. Again, you've got to seek shelter. You've got to go. There's not time to mess around. Again, this will be there within minutes if it stays on the ground, which it definitely could. Again, this is a significant cone tornado on the ground. This is not good. Again, crazy stuff already going down here, guys. Give me just a second. Alright. So again, if you're just not tuning in, significant tornado on the ground northwest of Houston, Texas. This is a strong tornado approaching the neighborhood of Bridgeland. If you know anybody in this area, you got to send them this stream. Again, this is a significant tornado that has been on the ground for quite a while now. It's quite a long tracker. Again, guys, this is 11 a.m., and we are already dealing with a significant tornado. Yeah, Ryan went live literally a couple minutes after we did. Almost at the exact same time. So again, significant tornado on the ground approaching Bridgeland, Texas. If you're in this area, you gotta seek shelter. Again, this is an unbelievable start to this event. This already is a significant tornado. Again, the SPC is floating out the idea of a high risk at the next SPC update. That'll be the last one before the event really starts to pop off. So if they're going to do it, it'll have to be at the 2 p.m. update, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, we're not hoping for it, but unfortunately at this point it looks somewhat likely. Again, models have only uptrended significantly since our stream yesterday. Alright, so this tornado is continuing, unfortunately. This is now entering Bridgeland, Texas. All we can hope is that this tornado has lifted and that's just debris fallout, but unfortunately I don't think that's the case. It could be. We could see a miracle here and this lifts just before it enters subdivision, but I don't think that's going to happen. And that's rough. It's not something you want to see this early on in the outbreak. Again, this has been on the ground for like 15 minutes now. Again, Bridgeland, Texas, about to get hit by a strong and damaging tornado. Again, this little blue splotch here, that's the debris being picked up by our tornado, thrown thousands of feet up into the atmosphere and being reflected back onto the radar as this little blue blob. Again, this is significant. You gotta seek shelter if you've not already. Alright. Shoot. So, again, this is only the beginning, unfortunately. If you are just now tuning in, we are expecting a massive tornado outbreak today. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Mississippi for lime-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. That includes areas west of Cleveland. This is north of Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Or I guess Rolling Fork's a little further south. But this storm has now been reported to have had baseball-sized hail, and it says some possibly larger. So again, this is a significant hailstorm, and if you are in this area, you got to get away from windows as fast as possible. You cannot be outdoors during this. This is a significant hailstorm. Again, if you got a car outside and you have time out ahead of the storm, make sure to bring that into the garage. Again, this is the windshield smashing kind of hailstorm. So again, tornado warning remains in effect for Harris, Texas. We do have a tornado ongoing. Alright, so luckily, again, this is a legitimate miracle. The debris signature has fallen off, and it looks like this tornado has dissipated, but we are not out of the woods yet. We still have debris fallout. We have pieces of homes. We've got pieces of trees, pieces of power lines, shingles falling out of the sky on top of western Bridgeland, Texas. So you need to stay in your safe spot. You got to get underground if you can. But luckily, again, thank the Lord, this tornado has dissipated. Again, this was on the ground for about 15 minutes. It's still got debris fallout with it, but again, luckily much less significant now. It could recycle another tornado, so we've got to continue to watch it. But again, mergers are the only thing that saved us from this being a lot worse. And I mean a lot worse. If we saw that strong of a tornado whenever a merger was hitting it, then I can't even imagine what a discrete supercell would have done. Again, especially to this populated of an area. Again, this is significant. Unbelievable. So, new correlation coefficient scan. Again, still showing some debris fallout in the atmosphere here over western Bridgeland. So, again, please stay in your safe spot. We cannot stress that enough. We will likely see a reissuance of this tornado warning within the next couple minutes since there is still strong rotation with this storm here. Again, hopefully this dissipates due to the cell merger, but again, at one point, this was a significant tornado, without a doubt. Yeah, I know, there were a lot of tornado warnings earlier this morning, but unfortunately I could not stream at that time. but only one of them actually produced. So, now that that's over, we still have our massive Mississippi hailstorm to worry about. This is right over Arkansas City right now. Again, this previously produced baseball-sized hail over Vermont. There was likely significant damage to windows. Again, this had a massive hail spike at one point. Absolutely giant. Again, this is a crazy, crazy start to the day, considering it is 11 a.m., and we're already seeing significant tornadoes in populated areas. Again, it's unfortunately likely only the precursor to what's going to come today. Alright, so the tornado warning is going to expire within the next 60 seconds here, but again, we may see them reissue this since there is still debris fallout in the atmosphere, and we've still got some decently strong rotation. I don't know, though, I'll be honest. I do think that this is probably done. Again, I think luckily our cell merger kind of saved us from a disaster. Okay. So they did reissue the tornado warning here for Tomball, Texas, and Cypress, Texas, as well as Klein. If you're in this area, seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, in an interior room. This includes parts of Highway 99, Highway 249. This is an extremely populated area. This includes tens of thousands of people. This is right over Coles Crossing. Give me just a second here so I can see the exact specifics with this. Again, this is a extremely populated area, so if you know anybody out here in Northwest Houston, make sure to send them this stream, because this is significant. Again, if you have any questions about your location today, guys, please leave them down below. We did forecasts for dozens of different cities yesterday across parts of the Deep South, and again, today is the day where everything's going to go down, so if you have any questions about anywhere, literally anywhere, please leave them down below. Okay. You're inclined? Yeah, just make sure to seek shelter and you will be fine. Again, you got to get underground if you can. If you can't, just get into an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Thank you, Jerry. Again, yesterday, I know we're focused in here on our tornado event, but I do want to just quickly thank you guys again for all the insane support yesterday. That was wild. Biggest day on this channel ever. How's Huntsville, Alabama looking? So Huntsville looks like mostly a big-time damage and wind risk still. I think the tornado threat for Alabama would be located a little bit further south, but I definitely wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado. If we pull up the composite reflectivity here and we take a look at the 15Z run of the HRRR, we can go ahead and see here on the future track that, again, we are expecting that discrete supercellular potential to be across parts of more central Alabama. But again, a big-time damaging wind threat there from our likely derecho event after midnight through 1 a.m. We're talking about damaging winds 70 to 80 miles an hour potentially in the Huntsville metro. So look out for that. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. This is for parts of northwest Louisiana and southwest Arkansas. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, tornado possible tag. That is due to rotation here with our storm along Interstate 49. It's broad. However, it could develop further, so they've went ahead and slapped the tornado possible tag onto this warning here. Again, it looks like some significant damaging winds with this. This is just north of downtown Shreveport. You're in Humble, Texas. Let's check that out. So yeah, Humble, Texas today. This tornado is going to be luckily far northwest of you, and again, we do think it has dissipated at this point, luckily, but we could watch for it to recycle. But Humble, Texas, you are likely to see some thunderstorms with some damaging winds and hail here within the next several minutes. We got a line of supercells approaching you, so we're going to watch out for that. Again, luckily, these are not all discrete, otherwise we would have a much more significant problem. What's up, Daily Dose? Alright. How is Spring, Texas? So Spring, Texas is just down the line here from our tornadic storm. Again, I think that this will continue to weaken out and the National Weather Service will not issue another tornado warning. But again, just some more thunderstorms from this supercell here. Again, this previously produced a strong tornado, guys, so we've got to stay on our toes. Patterson, Louisiana. Patterson is going to have that slight risk in place. You are luckily going to be far to the south of most of the super intense strong tornado threat and all that action. But if we take a look at the 15Z run of the HRRR, once again, we can see that we are expecting a few more thunderstorms over the next couple hours. But the big event will come around 8 p.m. for you with some damaging winds, large hail, again, maybe an isolated tornado. Nothing too significant, though, compared to what we're seeing further north. Natchez, Mississippi. That is, I believe, further south. Yep. So you are in our moderate risk of severe weather today. Personally, and I'm not saying this to scare you, but personally, I do believe you have the highest chance of seeing a strong tornado today. Out of a lot of areas. Again, if we take a look at the HRRR, we can see 6 p.m., these discrete supercells out of head over a line. This is going to be the chance for a strong tornado in this area. Now, out ahead of that, behind that, I should say, again, after that, you will see big-time damaging wind risk. So tornadoes, damaging winds, they're all possible today, so stay weather aware. Again, stay tuned into the stream here. I think it's going to happen around Jasper, Texas, and Beaumont, Texas. So Beaumont, Texas has the slight risk for today. I actually do think that we could see our damaging wind events start to get going here pretty soon for the Beaumont area. If we take a look at the 15Z run of the HRRR, we can see that around 3 and 4 p.m. we are expecting some significant thunderstorms. Kind of the same thing for Jasper. Again, any of these little discrete supercells out ahead could potentially produce a tornado, but I think it's mostly just going to be a damaging wind threat for those regions. Franklinton, Louisiana. Let's check this out. Again, I will get to everybody, guys. There's just a lot of chat messages coming in right now. Franklinton, you are in our enhanced risk for severe weather today. Again, kind of the same thing for the town that we just spoke on down south. I think that it's mostly going to be a damaging wind threat for you. Again, I wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado out ahead of our line, though, especially, say, around 9 p.m., 8 or 9 p.m. Then after that, the damaging wind threat will continue into the late nighttime hours. Okay. Albany, Georgia. So Albany, Georgia is mainly, again, I feel like I've been saying this for every town, but it's mainly just going to be a damaging wind threat for Albany, Georgia. There's no massive tornado threat. Again, a lot of those discrete supercells out ahead of the line will not be intact after the point where this makes its way through Georgia here. But damaging winds tomorrow morning could definitely be a threat. Thank you, Ethan. Again, that was totally unexpected. Franklin, Tennessee. Let's see. So you're in the marginal risk. Again, we're gonna be talking about mostly a damaging wind threat here. That's kind of been the quote for me so far today. But it really is gonna be just a damaging wind threat for parts of Tennessee. Again, all the significant tornado threat will be further down to the south. But Franklin, Tennessee, I think again that damaging wind threat could peak around midnight. Again, I would not expect any tornadoes that far north. Again, maybe some isolated hail. What about New Orleans? I have family there. New Orleans downtown is kind of the similar story that we've been talking about for other of these southern Louisiana cities. Again, mainly a damaging wind threat, but out ahead of our line, those discrete supercells could produce an isolated tornado, and maybe an isolated strong tornado, but I think the strong tornado threat should stay, for the most part, to the north of you. But again, around 9 p.m., wouldn't be surprised to see an isolated tornado threat, and then around midnight, the damaging wind threat will peak. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I assume you're talking about. We got that slight risk intact for today. Again, that big-time hailstorm is just off to your southeast right now. Again, we're mainly just going to be talking about some typical thunderstorms for today. Nothing too crazy. Wouldn't be surprised to see some big-time damaging wind gusts later this afternoon, but outside of that, nothing major. Is Tulsa, Oklahoma okay? Yes, Tulsa is absolutely fine. In fact, it's going to be quite the beautiful day in Tulsa, I would say. It may be a little bit muggy, but we're going to be talking about temperatures in the 60s today. It's going to be quite beautiful. There's a cumulus fields developing in southern Louisiana. With which... Alright, what am I talking about? Okay. I was going to say with which storm, but it's like cumulus clouds do not have to be associated with the storm. New severe thunderstorm warning for Shreveport, Louisiana. Same storm we've been talking about. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, tornado possible. Again, just for that broad rotation there. So if you're in Shreveport, just make sure you're getting indoors and you'll be fine for now. No significant rotation at this time. I actually do see something developing here near Greenwood. We'll have to watch that. South of town, that could develop into something. Abbeville, South Carolina. Thank you, TKF. Abbeville. So, general thunderstorm risk, again, the main threat for you will come tomorrow, where we could be talking about some damaging winds in the afternoon time hours. But if we take a look at the NAM model here, we could be talking about an isolated tornado threat as well. Again, it's going to be mainly a tomorrow time thing. Today, you don't really have too much to worry about. But tomorrow, we could be talking about some significant thunderstorms in the morning time hours around 9, 10 a.m., 10, 11 a.m. Eastern. Again, tornado threat remains low for Abbeville, but damaging winds are definitely going to be a big thing. Absolutely the most concerning in the explosion of discrete cells forming ahead of the dry line. That's what's most formed here in spring here in Alabama, yes. Yeah, thank you for everybody again. If you're just now tuning in, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. The National Weather Service did update our tornado warning back up to observed here, up to observed for the first time. So, we likely still have a tornado on the ground here. It is a public confirmed tornado as of 6 minutes ago. Alright, so again, still a tornado on the ground here for everybody just now tuning in. So this is going to be a tornado just north of Cypress at this point. Thank you, William. But yeah, still a tornado on the ground here, according to the public, ripping through villages of Cypress Lake. That's quite unfortunate. Again, this is a populated area. And there you go, there's the report. We were really hoping this wouldn't happen, but there we go. So again, tornado on the ground north of Cypress, Texas, if you are just now tuning in. Again, this is not good. This is heading for Tomball, Klein. If you're in this area, seek shelter immediately. Again, it is literally 11 a.m. Alrighty. So again, luckily it looks like, just based off of radar observations, this tornado is likely not as significant as the previous one that this supercell produced, but no, there's not a high risk, but they're talking about potentially issuing one. And they have not said that they're going to issue a high risk yet, but they have floated out the idea that it's not completely out of the picture. Which a December high risk is something that we have not had in several years. Several years. We did not even have a high risk with Rolling Fork. We did not have a high risk with Mayfield. Again, the last high risk we had was with Barnsdall, and that ended up being a very significant day due to the high-end EF4 hitting a metro region. Yeah, we don't know for sure if there's going to be a high risk or not. Again, this is looking like a very significant day, so please make sure to turn on notifications if you've not already, because we're likely going to have this split up into multiple big streams today. It's unlikely that we're going to be able to go live for like 10 hours straight or anything, so we're probably going to have to split this up into multiple big live streams. But again, as long as there's a tornado on the ground, we have to stay here for right now. Yeah, dew points are already in the 70s in parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, which is, again, only a sign for what's to come. Again, thank you for everybody that's tuning in. We are now one subscriber away from 3,050. If you've not already, make sure to click that subscribe button. Your house isn't a slight risk and your neighbor's house isn't? That's crazy. So again, if you're just now tuning in, tornado on the ground in Cypress, Texas. This is a populated region getting impacted by a tornado. Again, this supercell previously produced a significant tornado. But again, this is a dangerous situation. And if you're included in this tornado warning, you gotta seek shelter immediately. Yeah, dew points in the 70s are not something that we have seen in December in a long time. Alright, so again, if you're just now tuning in, tornado on the ground in Harris County, Texas, near the town of Cypress. Again, this is in the northwestern outer Houston suburbs here. Yes, make sure that you have multiple ways to receive severe weather alerts. Lake Charles. I don't know why I'm searching that up. It's literally right here. Lake Charles has the enhanced risk for severe weather today. So again, I think in the late afternoon time hours, you could be dealing with some significant damaging winds. If we take a look at the HRRR here, we can see around 5 p.m. there's a good chance for some damaging winds. But just before that, we will have discrete supercells out ahead of the line in that area. So I think Lake Charles around 4 or 4:30 could have a little bit of a tornado threat. But again, damaging winds would be the main thing, up to 70 miles an hour. That's insane, William. Yes, Texas has had a rough past few days. Thank you, Akiniko. Alright, so again, our tornado is now located a few miles north of Cypress, Texas. Again, this is heading towards Tomball and Klein. This is going to go very close to our terminal radar, actually. Let's actually look at that. Not showing a whole lot. Again, we only have base velocity feature on there, though, so... Yes, if you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure that has batteries in and everything. Make sure it's working perfectly. Again, luckily there are no NOAA weather radio outages across the Deep South today. So again, this is heading for Hayden Lakes and Tomball. If you're in this area, you got to seek shelter if you've not already. How will Elizabethtown, Kentucky be affected? Mainly just some thunderstorms. I would not expect anything outside of that. Again, no real severe weather, no tornadoes, nothing of that nature. And if anything, just a lot of heavy rain. But not too much to worry about there. Again, that's kind of the story for most of Kentucky. Thank you all for the support. We're at 3,052 subscribers. Very light CC drop. It could be something building. We'll watch that. It doesn't line up perfectly, though. But we'll see. That actually, it could just be hail. They did just update the tornado warning, but Radar Omega's glitched. What's up, Voltage Gaming? McDonald Island? What is that? Alright, tornado warning has been downgraded once again to radar indicated. They have put this little tag on here, though. This storm has had a history of producing a tornado. The radar is still showing significant broad rotation. And that is definitely true. Again, north of Coles Crossing is where we are talking about right now. What's up, the Kansas Weather Watchers? And if you've not already, make sure to subscribe. I don't want to say that over and over again today, because obviously we have to focus on severe weather, but it would help out the channel quite a bit. And again, it helps push this stream out further into the algorithm so the people that need this coverage can get it. Because again, this is the biggest outbreak that this area has seen all year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If we're already seeing significant tornadoes at 11 a.m., this is going to be big. What's up, Pierre? It's 4,500 SB surface-based cape on mesoanalysis. Is there really? I checked yesterday and it was in the 3,000s. Again, all the models have uptrended in every single feature then since last night, though, so... And again, the dew points are already sky high. If we take a look at them here on the HRRR. Let's pull this up. We can see that we're already talking about dew points in the 70s for areas along the Gulf Coast here, and again, that is only going to rise further northward as we continue to go later into this afternoon. By 3 p.m., we were dealing with dew points into the 70s, well into portions of central Louisiana here. Areas like Natchez, Mississippi. Again, I know we've got some folks watching from there. And it continues to rise north even further later into the afternoon, and it stays there. Again, we're going to be talking about dew points in the 70s pretty much all day long here in southern Mississippi, southern Louisiana. Again, the area where the greatest severe threat will be our dew points are in the mid-60s, and that is more than enough to fire severe storms and tornadoes. Actually, last night, the Storm Prediction Center had the outlook literally a mile off of including Rolling Fork, but now the moderate risk does include Rolling Fork. So again, prayers for everybody out there. I hope that they do not have another significant situation 2 years in a row. We did just get a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. There's now a 20% chance of a severe thunderstorm watch being issued for parts of southeast Arkansas and northwest Mississippi over the next couple of hours, mainly due to this one supercell. I feel like they're issuing this, but we do have a few more trailing behind here. So, again, low chance of a watch, but it is quite possible. Again, we will see a watch for these areas later this evening. There's no question about it. This is the early morning round of storms. Again, we will likely have a PDS tornado watch. We will likely have watches all across the Deep South. But for right now, again, two separate modes of storms. Alright, so rotation continues here broadly across northwestern Houston, again, north of Coles Crossing. Yes, 2024 is going out with a bang. It reminds us what this year was all about. Quite unfortunately. Again, a lot of people want to know my thoughts on the high risk. I don't think we're going to see a high risk today. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I would say it's probably a 30% chance. If they do issue a high risk today, it will likely be somewhere across parts of east central Louisiana and southwestern Mississippi. Somewhere in this general area here. Again, you'll notice all the storm chasers position themselves there too. Anything serious from Mobile later today? So, Mobile actually, yes, you are on the enhanced risk of severe weather. That is a 3 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center scale. If we take a look at the reflectivity here, we can see that late tonight, this is going to be a late night event here for Mobile. We're talking 11 p.m. through midnight. The chance for a couple of tornadoes does exist, as these discrete supercells will be out ahead of this line here. So 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., we could be talking about a couple of tornadoes, and then after that, damaging winds will persist for a good chunk of the night. If you're talking about, like, a certain, like, type of severe weather, like, if you're talking what's the biggest threat today as in hail, wind, or tornadoes, it would definitely have to be damaging winds, because, again, we are expecting a widespread derecho to impact the Deep South later today. Again, already developing, by the way, across parts of central Texas. But tornadoes would be the secondary threat. So here's something crazy. There's actually a greater chance today of a tornado touching down than a large hailstone falling. The probabilities are both at 15%. The tornado threat is hatched, so again, significant tornado threat today. Gulfport, Mississippi. Gulfport, you are in the slight risk of severe weather, but you might as well be in that enhanced. You're literally like a mile outside of it. So if we take a look at the HRRR model here, we can see that we are expecting, again, an isolated tornado threat to persist from about 10 p.m. through midnight, and then after that, around 1 a.m., we could be talking about a significant tornado threat. We do actually see tornadoes in December in the deep south, not too uncommonly, but it's definitely rare to see this significant of a tornado threat. $12-hour stream, potentially. Unfortunately, I'm a lot busier today than I originally thought, which is quite annoying because I wasn't informed that I was going to be busy today until today. But it's alright. Gotta do what you gotta do. But I think, again, we will come back later tonight and kind of end off shortly here. Again, I don't want to, and I know it's a short stream, but unfortunately I don't really have much of a choice. I would love to do a 12-hour stream today, but it's not, unfortunately, going to happen. Here's what I will say. While I'm gone today, obviously there are going to be dozens of creators live all across YouTube. I encourage you guys to check out some of the smaller ones, like myself. Again, there's a lot of good creativity out there in this space that goes unrecognized. What's up, Siege? So again, while I'm not going to be live all day, again, I wish I could. I can't. While I'm not going to be live all day, there will be somebody to watch at some point. Again, Ryan Hull's live today. Max is live today. We've got so many awesome creators live today that are going to be covering this event. But again, there are also quite a few smaller ones that have just as much talent and put just as much effort into it. So I encourage you guys to go check one of them out. Give them a wave. Little bit of rotation developing near Conroe, Texas. It's not a discrete supercell. It's kind of getting cut off by a couple of storms right now, but we'll see what happens with that. Okay, this tornado warning expires in 5 minutes. Yes, they were, Oki. Again, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to subscribe. We are at 3,055 subscribers. Alright. So again, this is going to be one of the biggest tornado outbreaks of the year. So again, just be weather prepared all day long across the deep south for damaging winds, especially, again, a big time derecho event. Even if you don't see a tornado today, you are definitely going to get some damaging winds in the moderate risk zone. And again, a couple of strong tornadoes are definitely going to be floating around out there. So, and honestly, I would say more than a couple. So again, please stay weather aware all day long. We're not quite going to end off yet, but quite soon, unfortunately, I have to. Thank you, Pierre. The Storm Prediction Center has put out this mesoscale discussion here talking about the tornado watch. The severe threat continues across tornado watch 718. Damaging gusts, large hail, and a couple of tornadoes may occur through the remainder of this morning. Excuse me. Again, this is the morning time round, guys, and we are already seeing significant tornadoes. I am fearing for the afternoon round. Again, it's actually mostly going to be an evening time threat overnight. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. $3,000 mixed layer cape, 40 knots of lower level jet, 4,500 surface base cape, 72 over 70 in certain areas. Just unbelievable what is setting up right now for sure. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, again, today is going to be the biggest day of this big stretch of severe weather that we've been seeing across Dixie Alley, so stay weather aware. Again, there's a chance we see a high risk get issued, and if that happens, obviously, that means we are ready for worst case scenario, and that would result in a very, very long overnight stream, which we're probably going to have one anyways, but are the thunderstorms coming to St. Louis today? No, just some rain in St. Louis, if anything. Yeah, these nocturnal tornadoes are the really dangerous ones because obviously people are going to be asleep. People are not going to know what's going on. They're not going to be prepared, and that's what I'm really worried about. I think if we see any strong tornadoes after 10 p.m. in a populated region, we could have a mass casualty situation, unfortunately. By the way, guys, I know slow-mo chat is on. I'm sorry if that's annoying, but there has been such an influx in viewership over the past couple days. So, again, I massively appreciate that, but so rotation continues to be broad here near Klein and Tomball. And I know we've got a lot of viewers in the southeast Texas area, so they did just extend that tornado warning out further. This now includes Spring and the Woodlands, Texas. If you are in this area, seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, and in an interior room. The storm has a history of producing multiple decent-sized tornadoes. Again, flying debris will be dangerous. Those caught without shelter, mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Alrighty. Sorry for any background noise. That is some beautiful piano music provided by my mother. Yeah, random Texan guy. Your hometown is included in this brand new tornado warning. Alright. I gave Levi permission to put that message, by the way, so nobody delete it. The background, everybody always enjoys the background music, so it's peak. Let's go. It's a Davis special touch. Yeah, you're not going to see this on any other weather channel on YouTube. Lafayette. If you're talking about Louisiana, Lafayette is in that enhanced risk of severe weather today. Again, similar story here to a lot of the other southern Louisiana cities we've been talking about, but if you weren't here for that, basically, we're talking about discrete supercells out ahead of our line that could produce an isolated strong tornado around 6 or 7 p.m., and then after that, we're going to be talking about a big-time damaging wind threat. Now, since you're a little further south of the main risk, I don't think that you're going to see a strong tornado by any means, but I would not rule out an isolated couple of brief tornadoes down here. Again, there's still going to be discrete supercells out ahead of our lines, ahead of our line. Our dew points are going to be sky high, so just get ready. I'm seeing something set up, by the way, on the HRRR that I'm not a huge fan of. It likes the idea of cells being well ahead of the line instead of just ahead now. And again, it has been hinting at that for a while, but we're talking very long time frames now. Like, look at this supercell. This is hundreds of miles ahead of our line of storms. If this sets up and actually treks across eastern Mississippi like it's saying, that will be significant. We could be talking about a strong to violent tornado if that were to happen. And again, they've been hinting at that for a while, so I'll tell her everybody's appreciating the music once again. She always gets happy to hear that. So again, kind of one last run through here of the SPC's discussion. We're not going to go through the full thing, but we will go through the little highlighted section of it that pops up whenever you go to the NOAA SPC page here. We are talking about, come on, please load. That would be so sweet. I may have to bring this up on my phone. The iPad's getting a little out of date here. Little slow for this kind of thing. I'm literally, okay. Tornadoes, some strong with at least EF2 damage possible. Severe gusts and hail are expected today into tonight. Not possible, expected. The threat area will shift eastward from parts of north and central Texas early across East Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley today, then over the Tennessee Valley, parts of Georgia, and the Central Gulf Coast tonight. So again, that is their outlook there. Unwarned tornado, Keithville, Louisiana. Let's check this out. Big CC in rotation. Dude, is this the area of rotation that we were watching earlier? No, it's not. Oh, I do see it there. Yep, sticks out there. That could be a tornado on the ground. I'm not going to say that that's definitely a tornado, though. I'm going to be honest with you. We will likely see them throw out a tornado warning for that, but there's no confirmation that that's on the ground right now. What about Livingston, Louisiana? Let's check that out very quickly. So Livingston, you're included in the enhanced risk of severe weather. Again, all the same here for a lot of our southern Louisiana cities. The timing for you, I'll get to you in just a second for Laurel, Mississippi, but the timing for you is going to be, again, say, discrete supercellular potential. Actually, the ARRR likes those very early supercells going over you, so you may have to look out for that in the early afternoon. And then discrete supercells out ahead of that would be around, say, 6, 7 p.m., and then the damaging wind threat would pick up around 9 and 10. I will say, though, you may have one of the greater tornado threats out of a lot of our areas today. I'm not going to sit here and pre-rate tornadoes that have not already happened. I'm not going to lie. But if you're asking if it's possible, certainly. Still some strong broad rotation over Klein. We'll have to watch that quite closely. Again, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to subscribe. We're at 3,061 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit 3,100 today. I'm sure we can. Again, we're going to have multiple streams out today. I would like it all to be one big stream, but unfortunately that's not really a possibility. Yeah, again, if you have any loved ones down here, make sure that you send them this stream so we can help them out. I'll be at 10K tonight. Natchez, Mississippi, again, has probably the greatest tornado threat, I would say, tonight out of literally anywhere. I mean, this is kind of the bullseye zone here. Again, we're talking about discrete supercells being a potential around 5 and 6 p.m. for strong tornadoes. After that, damaging winds will persist from 6 to 7 p.m. Yeah, that happened to me once, like last year, Voltage. What's up, Samuel? I just realized this is continuing the yearly trend of the Mississippi Valley, December tornado outbreaks. Last year was Hendersonville and Clarksville, Tennessee. This year, it's, well, we don't know what the specific tornado will be yet, but deep south is Andalusia, Alabama in the risk. Andalusia. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. Andalusia. Slight risk for the Andalusia area. Again, it's it's mainly going to be a damaging wind threat. If we take a look at the reflectivity here, we can see that we are expecting that line to catch up to you at about 3 a.m. tonight. So a broken line of thunderstorms with some damaging winds. Honestly, I would put you in the marginal, but do you think this goes to high risk again? I'm saying it's about a 30 to 40% chance as of right now. Again, there's only one more update from the SPC between now and the big event, so we'll see then. Wow, rotation strengthening near Spring, Texas. This is not looking good. We could see another tornado with this cell. We're decently far from the radar, so we may not see it if a debris signature pops up. Because we are talking, 50 miles away. PDS watch, do I think? Yes. Getting late tonight, probably. Yeah, I would love to be live all day, but unfortunately I have a couple things to do. But, again, we will have a stream out. I'm going to make sure that we have a stream out for the peak timing. I'm not going to let that not happen. We are now at 3,062 subscribers. Thank you all for joining. The support recently has been crazy. We went from 2K subs to 3K subs in 10 days. And really, we gained all 1,000 of those in one day, pretty much. You're starting in 5 minutes-ish. Well, if you're starting in 5 minutes, then I'll kind of end off here within the next few minutes, because, again, unfortunately, I do have to get a haircut. It's getting a little shaggy up here, so. Again, I'll come back with a fresh cut. We'll be fully refreshed and ready for the big event. But yeah, whenever you go live, feel free to throw your link in the chat. And then we'll kind of cut things off here then. Our rotation near Willis never really played out with anything. Again, I'm actually quite concerned for this afternoon, now that the HRRR likes the idea of some even earlier supercells getting going. And trekking far. Yes, we do have a tornado watch out for parts of southwest Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. This is not the big tornado watch that we will end up seeing today, though. That will come later this evening. Yeah, a lot has changed since last night. We got over 1,000 new subscribers since yesterday. Yes, I will be live tonight, Sandy. I'm going to make sure of it. Again, we went from about 30 average concurrent viewers yesterday to now 100 average concurrent viewers today, pretty much, which is just insane. Again, at one point, we got close to 1,000 yesterday. Vicksburg, Mississippi, that is off to the west. Yeah, so again, you're kind of towards the peak tornado threat region there. I think it would be a little bit further south of you, but either way, I mean, you were talking about the threat for, again, a significant damaging wind threat, and a couple of tornadoes out ahead of that as well. Again, 3, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., maybe an isolated strong tornado, 7 p.m., big-time damaging winds. When is peak time in Eastern time? Probably 6 through 9. Again, if you're talking about, like, peak, but there's going to be activity all night long, pretty much. And all day long, obviously, as we already have seen a few strong tornadoes today. Again, almost a 0% chance that this event performs at this point, unfortunately. Again, we're live for all the smaller events, too, that a lot of people aren't, so if you like enjoying watching those streams, then I would recommend subscribing. Again, even though yesterday was just a marginal risk, we were live for over 4.5 hours total, and then we're also live all day on the big risks. I mean, on Thursday, we were live for almost 5 hours, or I guess well over 5 hours, actually, over 6 hours. We already did Vicksburg. Anything big later for Houston? Big now for Houston. Big later? Probably not. Again, these thunderstorms will enter the metro pretty shortly here. Again, these are not discrete supercells, luckily. Otherwise, these would all have the chance to produce a tornado. But I think that's most of the reason why the risk isn't pushed a little further west is because of a messy storm mode at this point. Storm time for Pine Bluff. Again, kind of late evening time frame if we take a look at the HRRR. We're mainly going to be talking about some weaker thunderstorms today, but then later this evening and this afternoon, some heavy thunderstorms, say 4 p.m. Alrighty. We already did Vicksburg, Mississippi. Will those storms be tornadic? Probably not that far north, no. Again, definitely some wind is going to be possible, though. If you have the opportunity to, I would. Currently having lots of thunder and lightning and rain here outside of Dallas. That thick lightning just struck with a house or a tree now. Sounded like it hit something. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect for New Waverly, Texas. Alright, so Levi is live now, so go check out his stream. It's down in the chat. For right now, we're going to cut things off. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in